Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Shovel Knight. In the last part, we went through the first major stages in the Tower of Fate, and now we're heading off to the final stage, Tower of Fate, question marks. There's no proper name for this stage beyond that. And this stage is a bit odd in that it has a couple of unique mechanics to it, namely, we're gonna have a bit of a Zelda tile room here. We have to avoid all of these various tiles from the wall and floor trying to attack us. With that said, you can just outright destroy them with things like the war horn or the shovel drops. You don't need to worry about much. And later on, there's going to be a section where the floor is always there, but it doesn't show that it's there until you're within a certain amount of blocks within. You need to make some relatively blind jumps in order to make it either all the way left to get some of the music sheets in the stage, or carefully make yourself bring yourself to the right in order to bring yourself to the final boss, really. With that said, we've foreshadowed the fight against the Enchantress the entire game, so we might as well go over her bio. Of all the monsters roaming Shovel Knight's world, none are as dangerous as the Enchantress. Cold, brilliant, and pulsing with vile power, the Enchantress is a preternatural force. Her Order of No Quarter carries out her will with ruthless might, although her origins remain shrouded in mystery. With a loyal army under her command, she is more than a match for a solitary knight with a lowly shovel, or so she assumes. Pros, she's got high intelligence, magical prowess, and a healthy glow. Cons, she's got no sense of humor and seems sad sometimes. This stage is also thankfully very short. It's just this minor platforming segment with a checkpoint after it and then the boss fight. I say thankfully because I've seen some other action platformers kind of stretch out their final stage when that's just the final boss. I think what this game and Mega Man 11 do, where there's just maybe one platforming section before the final boss, are the best way to handle it, because you get that little final build-up of, okay, here we go. To take a word out of Scar's mouth in Lion King, be prepared. Chaos Sphere is still useful, but I'll be real, this is probably the boss fight it's the least useful in. Alright, here we go. It's a beautiful night, isn't it? Shield Knight, come with me. Let us leave this place. How pitiful. Clinging to false hope, chasing ghosts. So, have you come to slay me, knight? To avenge your beloved? Gaze into my eyes. See how fearful I am. Watch me cower as you draw your blade. I don't need a blade to fight evil. Shield Knight, I know you aren't lost forever. You haven't the slightest hope of defeating me. But I won't stop you from trying. So please, let us dance together into the abyss. Alright, time for the Enchantress, who, despite being the final boss, I honestly feel is one of the game's most simple boss fights. Her main attack is throwing her fireballs at you, similarly to Black Knight, in various patterns, in volleys of 1 to 3, throwing it at the floor from above or below the floor, as you can see, to damage the floor itself. And honestly, that's the most dangerous attack she has. Because obviously, as you can see, the floor is made of dirt blocks, which means if you carelessly shovel drop, you can end up screwing yourself out of platforms, meaning you'll probably take some cheap deaths. Whenever she's below the screen, I feel the best sub-weapon to use is the throwing anchor, if it's not that for this fight, period, as she spends, in my experience, more time under the platform, at least through the middle of the fight, than she does the top of it. Despite being the final boss, the biggest danger here is more so the terrain than the fight itself. The Propeller Dagger could also be useful enough here, I suppose, if you want to try and combo into her from above or below. But again, it's not a very complicated final boss. And you need to remember one thing, like the game has trained us. Remember to catch her. You caught me. If only I had known, I would have come sooner. You know I was still there, even though it seemed hopeless. You never gave up on me. I will never give up on you. I will follow you to the end of the world. It appears that maybe you have. What's happening? Oh no. When the amulet shattered, the magic within it was released. It's already gathering. It will escape and wreak havoc on everything. Unless we stop it. Unless we stop it. We can destroy it for good here and now. But we're both weak from battle. I've never been more ready. Come on, Shovel Knight. Let's fight together like old times. Now, stay close to me. True final boss is the Remnant of Fate itself. And this is a bit more of a complicated fight, but the biggest gimmick to it is you need to use Shield Knight to your advantage. While the Remnant of Fate will shoot all sorts of projectiles going at you in various patterns, Shield Knight will eventually jump from one of the top of the platforms. You need to shovel drop off of her onto the Remnant of Fate's head. You can, of course, use the Propeller Dagger from there or just carefully place momentum to keep yourself on top of it the rest of the fight. But eventually the platforms on the bottom of the screen will not only start falling out, but they'll also just start raising and lowering at essentially the game's own will. This is a really, really good final boss, though, as I feel it really uses what it became the main mechanic of the game to its best advantage. There are times, though, like this, where Shield Knight doesn't exactly place herself the best. In order to easily reach the Remnant of Fate, I'd say she usually needs to end up on one of the higher platforms than the lower, though I think it's still technically possible from the lower ones. Play well enough, though, and you're good. It's over, Shovel Knight. This place is falling apart. We have to get out of here. Let's go. I know a path. Shield Knight. Black Knight, thank goodness you're here. Shovel Knight is wounded. Take him and get outside. No, I can't leave you behind. How will you escape? This magic is too strong. I can't hold out much longer. Run! You can't deflect it. It'll tear you apart. I'm so happy I got to see you both one last time. Shield Knight! Go! Take Shovel Knight! Save him! Promise me you'll save him! Safe at last. I kept my promise, Shield Knight. Rest well, Shovel Knight. Until we meet again. And that's the Shovel of Hope campaign, or as it was originally released, Shovel Knights. Out of all of the games that take a lot of inspiration from the Mega Man, Castlevania era, classic NES stuff, I feel this game has the best design. The stages in this game are excellent. The music is fantastic. In general, I think this game is just super solidly put together. Out of the 4 campaigns, I'd say this is the most balanced in terms of difficulty curve and design prowess, though, because the others, they have their moments, and that's the best way to put it. They have their moments, highs and lows, and I'll get more into what I mean by that as I slowly do the other campaigns, but I think in terms of having a very approachable start, Shovel of Hope is the best campaign. My personal favorite is the Spectre Knight one, barring its final boss, because I like playing as Spectre Knight in particular, but yeah, if you want to play it, this game's on just about every modern console. PlayStation 4, PS3, 360, anything really, even 3DS. Personally speaking, I would recommend the PlayStation 4 or the PC release over the others, though, at this point, just because of either the Kratos fight or the Battletoads crossover, should you want to do it. I would say Xbox One, but I have no experience with Xbox consoles past my brother's original Xbox, because I never really cared. And something I should note, the Enchantress actually had an original playstyle idea as part of the Dig the Boat for potential side character playthroughs. She was going to be very mobility and damage based, where all of her attacks gave extra mobility options built right in. With that said, all of the attacks you had could also harm yourself, so you need to make sure you got the boss pattern down in case you need to dodge your own attacks. She was going to be very fast, therefore could run through quick levels quickly, but would have lower health than other characters, but she could also reflect projectiles. I feel it's appropriate. I don't think I've said hers yet, but Shield Knight herself, of course, does have a bio. Often, the best offense is a good defense, and Shield Knight knows it. Wielding a pair of asymmetrical shields, she reflects both melee and projectile attacks easily before getting into range and crushing her foes. For years, Shield Knight and Shovel Knight were inseparable partners in adventuring. With their expert use of unconventional weapons, they worked as one. Now, Shield Knight's fate is unknown, but Shovel Knight's goal is clear. He must journey to find Shield Knight, his lost beloved. Pros, she's confident, powerful, and tenacious. Cons, she's occasionally reckless. And at the end of the credits here, they also have a very detailed play guide for how you've done. It shows each stage, the time you spent in it, the haul from it, as well as how many times you died in it. And I think out of all my runs of Shovel Knight, barring the obvious Shovel of Hope deathless run I did on PlayStation 4 for the Platinum Trophy, this is probably one of my lowest death runs. There is a lot of love put into this game, and if you're a fan of action platformers, I cannot recommend it enough, just for Shovel of Hope alone. Spectre Torment, if you're more of a fan of Mega Man X style action platformers, is definitely really good. King Knight's just an interesting little idea, even though I think it overstates its welcome a little bit. And Plague of Shadows, I'll talk about when I get to it, because I still haven't beaten it myself. And there's the 100% completion thing. I feel like the one thing this game did need is money sink at the end, but even then, that's super minor. But yeah, Rat Club Games, you did well with all 4 of these expansions. I'll get more to the other 3 later, of course, but and a happy little ending. But before we end things off, we got music sheets in that last stage, a whopping 5, I think? And we have to turn those in, otherwise I just don't feel like I've gotten 100% properly. Let's see here. Oh, you found the Forlorn Sanctum.
Ah, an avant-garde concerto for violins and sconces, with audience participation. Bravissimo! Now that I have this music sheet, I can perform it. Unbelievable! You've recovered every single opus in my world. A chromed-out curator, a heroic historian. You may have saved the village, but your real contribution is to the fine arts. Bravissimo! But with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great night and take care. And I'll see you guys next Let's Play, whatever that may be. There's definitely going to be a bit of a space between this and when I eventually get to Plague of Shadows. Just because I don't want to out-Shovel Knight myself, I guess is the way I want to put it. I don't want to burn myself out on it. Well, you'll see it when you see it, I think is the best way to put it. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Have a great night, everyone.